everybody, I hope you're keeping well. I thought I'd come back with a video. It's so warm in here. Jesus. I have had a little bit of a rearrangement. I decided to have a whole change up. It needed it. It was doing me head in. I'm so glad to have. And then I hope you appreciate this little bit of atmosphere. If you can hear interfering noise, it's just the motors in this. But anyway, I thought I would do a video about. I've been thinking about it for a while to do it. I'm kind of put it off and put it off. I don't know why I put it off, but I did. But I wanted to do a video kind of talking about my weight and, you know, because for me personally, over my life, I've always gone up and down. So I've gone bigger, I've gone thinner, I've gone bigger. And at the moment, I'm kind of near back to being bigger again. It's hard for the people that don't generally see it. I see it, and I have, when I've weighed myself recently, I'm definitely closer back to being what I was at my largest. Thankfully, I'm not fully there. I try and be as best as I can. I'm not going to lie, I still eat quite naughtily. But I thought I'd go back and kind of talk about where it started. It's not necessarily a big thing. There's no reason as to why I put weight on, but there are certain reasons in certain points in my life of just not being asked anymore and kind of going, well, it's a bit shit. Oh, sorry, cut that out. With the bit crap at the moment, so I don't care. I don't care about the way I look, so I'm just going to eat, and I did. And before I knew it, it crept up, and you don't realise until you look at yourself. Like, I looked at pictures and went, this isn't right. Things aren't fitting me the way they should. I don't feel comfortable. So, from a kid, to be honest, there's nothing that, from being a kid, it's just I weren't big, but I definitely was more a bit fuller in this area. And I kind of, it wasn't it was just, I think it was my body build, to be honest. That's the way I've always been. And then secondary school hit. At first it was alright, and then as I started getting older, and I think as well when you go through puberty, your body starts changing anyway, in a lot of different ways. So it kind of, your body starts in general start changing, and your body, how it is built, starts to change slightly. And I did gain a lot of weight, and for me in school it kind of crept up. And there were periods in school where I didn't actually get on with some of the people that I suppose were in our friendship group, apart from my best friend. Shout out to Abby. She said that she don't mind me using the name, so shout out to Abby. We're still the closest of friends now, best of friends now, and I'm so fortunate that I have her in my life. She means the world to me, and I've got another friend as well. Many other friends, but I've got two really, like, I can tell anything to them, anything in the world. And I know that they'll understand. But, me and her we've always been close, but there was a period in school where we did kind of naturally drift apart slightly, and it was only for like a short period. And I think that's because some of the friendship group that we had, a lot of them didn't really, I didn't really see eye to eye with some of them, because I think I'd just seen straight through them. They were very two-faced people, to be honest. And, we just clashed and we didn't get on, and, we used to just, I think we were as bad as to each other with things we used to say and stuff, and, we were kids at the end of the day. You're going to retaliate, aren't you? But anyway, I kind of, around that time, naturally started gaining quite a lot of weight quickly. And the reason I knew this was because I was having to buy adult size shirts for school, adult size trousers, and turning them up. And it was just getting more and more and more. And I remember when I started college, the whole dynamic changed. Obviously by this point as well, me and my best friend Abby, we still stayed together throughout school as well. And after school, college, and even now, like, we're still the best of friends. And in college, I basically I made a decision to be healthier. And level one it was a slow, gradual process, but I got to a point where, I think around about 2014 time, around about, I want to say, March, April time, I started dropping weight, and I cut out anything that was a bad habit in food for me. I completely cut out. Um, and then my nan became terminally ill. I won't really speak on it because it's kind of private, and also it's not just me that kind of went through that whole process. It was my whole family, and it's not really for me to talk about. But she became terminally ill, and I kind of threw all that out the window and didn't care. And then I gained weight again, but it wasn't massively that I gained weight. I just gained weight slightly, and wasn't necessarily comfortable with that. And then by June, my nan passed away, and it was kind of like, again, focused on everything else and all of that. And then I started level 2 of college. I kind of got myself back together again, and then I dramatically lost weight again. I felt amazing. And then level 3 hit, and obviously I'll link the video down below about my whole college experience story time of level 3. That will explain everything of what happened there, but that went downhill, and then that became, for me personally, when I just didn't care. That was when I really didn't give, basically, little disclaimer, I'm just going to say it, I didn't give a shit at all. And I did eat a lot. I remember at the time, I'm not using it as an excuse, because obviously you don't have to, if you're feeling, why, I understand myself, but why stay there then if you felt unhappy? It was just a very difficult time, and I did try and get out actually, but timing and stuff and trying to get into another place, or it's all in the other video. But I kind of just went on to a rampage of not caring, and I just gained so much weight, unbelievably so much weight. And I became 30. So if I have any pictures, by the way, I'll try. If I find any pictures, I'll try and pop them in the video to kind of gain an idea of where I was at and how different I was. Also in college though, one thing that made me be a bit slimmer anyway is I was, in height wise in school, like, it was quite a slow process of me growing in my height. But when I hit college, I kind of just like sprouted up. So that kind of everything kind of slimmed down a bit. But then I kind of allowed myself to put weight on. But going back to obviously that point, I kind of gained so much weight. And then when I finished there, I started the apprenticeship. Obviously, I've talked about that, and started work. And I felt like I had a new focus on, my health, me, my career. I think mentally that was good for me, because finally it was like, okay, now I have something new to focus on. Now I have something to make myself better. And I decided that, it sounds really ridiculous, but well, it doesn't even sound really ridiculous. But when I was at my largest, there was little things I noticed that was affecting my health. And that was stuff like, getting out of breath really easy. At my age, I shouldn't be doing that. It's ridiculous. I'm even ashamed to say it. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Um, you know, I'm not even going to lie, I've talked about it probably before, but my thighs would rub, and it would be horrible, because it would cut, literally the skin would just break. It was so painful. And then I just made a decision that, right, this is enough now, this isn't working. So I cut out all snacking in total, which now looking back on it, I find it even harder to do that now, because I think that made me unhappy. But anyway, going back to it, I cut out snacking completely, cut any sort of high in fat foods, I even cut down on the alcohol. Yeah, I even cut down on the alcohol quite a bit around then. I didn't drink much then anyway, but I did cut down a lot on that. and I dropped 2 stone in total. I went from 13 stone, which was been my largest, and by 2017 of about February, I got close. I think it was about March time I got to 11 stone 4, and that's when I felt my most confident. I felt the best. Ideally, that's where I'd like to be, but I just don't think I'd ever get there again. And I just was like, I felt so amazing. But what I did, this is before I left, where we used to basically where I work, we were based somewhere else prior to where we are now. We were based in a department store. We were based in Selfridges, basically. That's where we used to be based, and the staff stairs, I think there are about 14 set of stairs, I used to use them. I used to walk up them and down them every day. Like, this is the thing, if you can't get to the gym, my advice is to try and incorporate it into your day-to-day life if you can. If you can walk further, do a bit of walking. You know what I mean? You don't have to be on a running machine, you don't have to be lifting weights, because at the end of the day at the gym, I'm no expert, but at the end of the day, you're actually gaining more weight because muscle weighs more than fat. You've got to sort your diet out before you even think about toning up, then consider toning up. And it worked for me, it did work for me, and then we moved the end of 2016 to where we're based now. I'm not going to say where we are based, just because I wouldn't do that. And so yeah, it felt I felt my best. And then after that, I kind of settled a bit, and I did gain a little bit of weight. But I think what happens is once you dramatically lose weight, not for everybody, but I think for some people, you kind of level out, and I leveled out and maybe popped a few pounds on and stayed there. I didn't gain, I didn't lose, I just stayed there. But then I became happy again because I was cutting out things I actually enjoyed eating. And now, throughout lockdown, I ain't even gonna lie, like, my diet in lockdown was something else. It was bad, absolutely bad in lockdown. And so yeah, it was one of them. I gained a lot of weight in lockdown. Practically, even now, I'm not far off from what I weighed from 13 stone, about 12 stone something now. I've never really talked about my weight before because I think it's a very personal thing, and also I am now, but I kind of mask it, that I'm still quite subconscious about the way I look. A lot of the time I get told off for this by someone in work, actually, and she watches my channel, so she'll know what I'm talking about. I'll get my t-shirt and I'll pull it down like this, and it's so much worse because it's black. It literally shows many thongs of this and these, well, tips basically. And so I do that a lot, or I'll do this, but that's a natural comfort thing for me to cover it. Even when I was thinner, I'd still do it. I'd like to get back there, but I need that motivation to do it, and that's the problem. I think it's that, when I began in lockdown, I did exercise practically every day in the beginning, but I lost the motivation for it. I think I lost motivation for a lot of things. The reason when it came towards near the end of lockdown, I just wanted to get out of lockdown. I wanted to go back to normal because I just didn't feel motivated to do anything. And so, yeah, we did that, and I gave up on that. I downloaded Uber Eats, which, if anybody knows what Uber Eats are, I'm guessing if we have Uber and Uber's in America and everywhere else, I'm sure you have Uber Eats. You know what it is, where you can you get people to deliver food to you. And so I did that every weekend. I even felt horrible doing it, to be fair. I even felt my skin felt horrible. I felt greasy. I think the fattier of the food and the grease of the food, you literally obviously sweat that. It was also, it was hot in lockdown here, very hot. So sweating as well, it was just like eating that greasy, nasty ass crap. It just made you feel worse. I felt sluggish. I felt like a pig, to be honest. And you know, I didn't realise the extent of how much weight I gained until I went back to it, because that's when the problem with the thighs again and the breaking of the skin was starting. It was so painful and so sore. I kind of, some people knew about it, but I hid it quite well because it was agonising. But I could hide it quite well, and I just wouldn't say anything. But what I do now is I walk further to the bus stop, so I get the bus that's further, like it's a 10-minute walk, not even that because I speed walk it, but like if you was to do normal walk, it'd be like a 10-minute walk, and that has made a difference. I definitely have dropped in weight slightly. I don't know if I'll ever get back to being 11 stone 4 again. I can't say I would or I wouldn't. I can't say whether I would. It depends, you know, if I have the motivation to do it, which hopefully I will, it's fine, but it's maintaining that. And I think that's a lot of an issue that, you know, people, like humans in general, have. It's once you've got there, it's the maintaining of it. And if you're not prepared to maintain it, then you're only going to take 10, 20 steps back. And that's kind of what I've done right now. But I am preparing, you know, I've started it, but I'm preparing to make bigger changes to change that. And hopefully I will be back to ideally what I want to be, and try and stick at it. But the other thing as well is I definitely do drink more alcohol than I've ever done before. You know, I generally drink every weekend, whereas you know, 3-4 years ago I wouldn't have done that. I would have done it like now and again. And obviously with lockdown you get bored of a weekend. I mean, I know the pubs and stuff are back open, but I used to love going clubbing a lot. Even though this year in the beginning I did cut down on clubbing a lot. But obviously when you're bored and after a week's work, you just like want to, you know, let your hair down, don't you? So for me, I have obviously a hi-fi system and lights galore in here that can turn it into literally a club. So for me, it's kind of like, you know, I mean, last weekend, even though I weren't that hungover, I have to say I was better, but that's because I didn't order Uber Eats, to be fair. So maybe you might, in the future, you might see a slight difference in the way I look, hopefully. We'll see about that. Because I eat crap. It's like, for me as well, I'm a savoury person, not a sweet person, so my go-to thing for snacking is crisps, and it's not just one packet of crisps. It's like 2, 3, 4. I'm not being funny, if you put a 24 pack in front of me, they'll be gone. Well, I say all 24, not all 24. I don't like salt and vinegar and I don't like prawn cocktail. But if you give me the ready salted cheese and onion and the other flavours, to have the roast chicken and that, I'd eat it. But that's about it. And one thing that used to be, the one thing I don't really eat anymore, which is great. I only have it from time to time. And I used to say bad as biscuits. If you give me a packet of them, I'll eat the packet. I don't eat one. You know, so there's things that sometimes you do have to cut out completely, because you know that, you know, there was a lot of people that was around me at the time when I first started losing the weight that said, don't give it up, don't give it up. You know, it won't work. And partly, yeah, they're right, but the thing is, personally for me, I can't cut down on some things because it won't work, because I'll just, like I said, if you give me a pack of biscuits, I'm going to eat the packet of biscuits. You know, you get halfway through the pack, you see there's about 4 left, you go, I might as well finish them. And then you feel like a fat pig after you've ate them. I do. I like crisps. But what I need to do is kind of be more in... I don't feel like I'm in control of my diet at the moment, and I need to be more... I don't like the word dieting anyway. I just hate the word dieting. It's not a diet. You're just making it better for yourself. You're making better decisions for yourself. Don't put that pressure of the word diet on you. it's not going to work. And it's not for me personally as well. Things like, for example, you know, like you've got things out there that will help you, like Weight Watchers, Slim Fast, and Slimming World and stuff like that. It works for some people, but for me personally, it wouldn't, because, and it wouldn't work for some other people, because the moment you come off it, you go into full circle. Oh, I'm not on it now, so I can do this, I can do that, and then you go back. You know, you've got to find what works for you. That's the important thing. You've got to find what works for you, and you'll know when it works for you. And there was times where it did work for me. I am obviously going to at some point do a whole month of just completely not drinking alcohol. And I will do it, because sometimes I don't believe I have the willpower, but I do have the willpower to do it. So I will do it. So that definitely will happen. It's just finding what works for me again. And obviously it will be a bit different this time. So that is basically it. I know I probably rambled on for ages, but it is what it is. So if you did enjoy it, please leave a like, hit the notification icon so you can keep in touch with what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, and leave your comments down below on what you think works for you. If you're happy with yourself, which you should be anyway, you know, you don't need to please nobody else. That's the thing for me. That's the one thing I've always said. I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me. And that's what you need to think of. Don't do it for anybody else. You're doing it for you first and foremost. Because if you're doing it for somebody else, think about it. You know, I'll see you in the next one. Like I said, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification icon, wherever it is. Hit that subscribe button. I said leave a comment down below on what you think. And I'll see you in the next one.